The massive alien ship appeared without warning. One moment, the space around Earth was empty. The next, a vessel larger than anything humans had ever built hung above the planet like a metal cloud. Military bases worldwide went into high alert, and government leaders rushed to their secure bunkers. Inside the Pentagon's main command center, Admiral Thomas Reed watched the giant screens with growing concern. Radar systems worldwide tracked the vessel, but no weapons had been fired. Not yet. "Sir, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," a young communications officer reported, his voice shaking slightly. "They're using perfect English." Reed straightened his uniform and nodded. "Put them through." The main screen flickered, revealing a tall, gray-skinned creature with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its voice came through clear and cold. "People of Earth, I am High Marshal Stone of the Galactic Council. Your planet has been found lacking in development and culture. Submit to our rule, and we will guide your species to proper civilization." Reed's jaw tightened. 25 years in the military had taught him to recognize a bully when he saw one. "This is Admiral Reed of Earth's United Defense Force. We respectfully decline your offer. Earth is our home, and we will govern ourselves." The alien's upper eyes narrowed. "You misunderstand. Admiral, this is not a negotiation. You have 6 hours to surrender, or we will demonstrate our power. Your primitive weapons cannot harm our ships." The screen went dark. Reed slammed his fist on the desk, making coffee cups rattle. "Get me the president, and someone find out how they got past our early warning systems." Before anyone could move, a quiet voice spoke from the back of the room. "They used a gravity fold. Simple, really, once you understand the math behind it." Everyone turned. A man in a wrinkled lab coat stood there, looking completely out of place among the uniforms. His gray hair stuck out in all directions, and he held a beaten-up leather briefcase like it contained the world's secrets. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" Reed demanded. "Dr. James Walker, Level 7 clearance." He held up a badge that made the security officers step back. "And I know how to save Earth, but you're not going to like it." Reed studied the man's badge, then his face. "We're about to be attacked by aliens with technology centuries ahead of ours. I'm open to suggestions." Walker placed his briefcase on the main table and opened it carefully. Inside lay what looked like an ancient stone tablet covered in strange symbols. 50 years ago, we found this in a cave system under the Antarctic ice. It took us decades to translate it, but when we did," he smiled, "let's just say there's a reason the aliens picked today to show up." "Explain," Reed ordered, leaning forward to examine the tablet. "They detected something we've been building. Project Pandora. They think it's a weapon, the ultimate weapon. That's why they're here, trying to stop us before we finish it." Walker's eyes gleamed with excitement. "But it's not what they think it is. It's so much better." A junior officer burst into the room. "Admiral, 5 more alien ships just appeared in orbit. They're launching smaller craft." Reed looked at the tablet, then at Walker. "How long until this Project Pandora is ready?" "That's the thing," Walker said, closing his briefcase. "It's been ready for months. We were waiting for them to show up. They think they're here to stop us from building something." He grinned. "But they're actually right on schedule." Warning sirens began blaring throughout the base. On the screens, dots representing alien fighters descended toward major cities. Reed made his decision. "Tell me what you need, Doctor." Walker's expression turned serious. "Get me to the facility under Mount Cheyenne, and pray the aliens are as predictable as the tablet said they would be." As they rushed from the command center, Reed couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just been dealt a very strange hand. But maybe, just maybe, it was exactly the hand they needed to play. Deep beneath Mount Cheyenne, behind blast doors thick enough to survive a nuclear strike, Project Pandora waited in darkness. The elevator carried Admiral Reed and Dr. Walker down for what felt like forever, each passing minute marked by distant rumbles from the alien attacks above. "How long has this been here?" Reed asked, watching the level counter drop past -30. "The facility. Since the Cold War," Walker answered, clutching his briefcase. "But what's inside? That's much older." The elevator slowed at level -42. Much, much older. The doors opened to reveal a sight that made Reed forget how to breathe. A massive chamber stretched before them, its walls covered in the same strange symbols from Walker's tablet. In the center stood a ring-shaped platform filled with softly glowing blue crystals. "Welcome to Pandora," Walker said, walking toward a control station. Named after the myth, but with a twist. Instead of releasing evil into the world, this box might just save it. Scientists in white coats moved around the platform, checking readings and adjusting equipment. One of them, an older woman with steel-gray hair, approached them quickly. "Jim, the energy signatures are spiking. They know we're here." Professor Emma Hayes, according to her name tag, pointed to a screen showing multiple red dots descending from orbit. "Their ships are changing course toward the mountain." Walker nodded like he'd expected this. "Good. That means the beacon is working exactly as designed." He turned to Reed. "Admiral, what I'm about to show you has been Earth's best-kept secret for over 50 years." He led them to a sealed room off the main chamber. Inside, suspended in a clear case, floated what looked like a piece of metal no bigger than a phone. Its surface shifted colors like oil on water. "This," Walker said, "is why they're really here. We found it in Antarctica, but there are others like it hidden around the world. The tablet told us where to look." He touched the case gently. "It's a key, Admiral. A key to something the aliens thought was lost forever." The mountain shook as explosions hit the surface. Reed's radio crackled with reports of alien ships concentrating their attack on their location. "The device out there," Walker continued, pointing toward the main chamber. "It's not a weapon. It's more like a phone. One that can call beings so ancient and powerful that the Galactic Council fears even their memory." Professor Hayes rushed in. "Jim, we're ready. But if we activate it, they'll have no choice but to respond," Walker finished. "That's exactly what we want." Reed looked between them. "You're telling me this whole facility, all this secrecy, it's to make a phone call?" Walker smiled. "The greatest phone call in human history. You see, the Council thinks they're the oldest civilization out there. They're wrong. And the ones who came before them. They left us instructions. Admiral, very specific instructions for a day exactly like today." The facility shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling as the alien weapons got closer to breaking through. "Make the call," Reed ordered. Walker and Hayes rushed to the control room. The ring platform hummed to life, its crystals pulsing with increasing brightness. The symbols on the walls began to glow one by one, creating patterns that moved like flowing water. "Energy levels at maximum," Hayes called out. "Quantum field stable. Ready for activation." Walker placed his hand on the main control panel. "Admiral, when this starts, there's no going back. The Council will know exactly what we have, and they'll be terrified." Reed stood straighter, his voice firm. "They should have thought of that before they threatened Earth." Walker pressed his palm down. The crystals flashed blindingly bright, and a beam of pure light shot upward through the mountain like it wasn't even there. In orbit, the alien ships suddenly stopped their attack. The phone was ringing, and someone very, very old was about to answer. The beam of light from Project Pandora pierced through the mountain and into space, but the alien response was not what anyone expected. Instead of backing away, their ships launched a full attack. "They're trying to stop the signal," Professor Hayes shouted over the sound of explosions. The facility shook violently, sending equipment crashing to the floor. "If they break through before the transmission is complete." "They won't," Walker interrupted, his hands flying over the control panel. "The bunker was built to withstand this. Keep the power flowing." Admiral Reed grabbed a secure phone as another blast rocked the chamber. "This is Reed. Status report. The voice on the other end was grim. Sir, they're hitting everything. New York, London, Tokyo. All major cities are under attack. They're not just targeting us anymore. It's like they're in a panic. Through the facility's monitoring systems, they watched as alien ships rained destruction across the globe. Skyscrapers toppled. Bridges collapsed. Millions fled underground as energy weapons carved burning lines across Earth's surface. How much longer? Reed demanded, watching the destruction unfold on the screens. Walker checked the readings. 10 minutes to complete transmission. Maybe less. We don't have 10 minutes. Hayes pointed to a structural integrity display. The mountain is failing. One more direct hit. The ceiling groaned ominously. Cracks appeared in the thick concrete walls, spreading like spider webs. New message from the council. A young technician called out. Playing now. High Marshal Stone's face appeared on the main screen, all four eyes blazing with fury. You primitive fools. Do you understand what you're doing? That signal. It will bring them back. Stop it now, and we may still show mercy. Reed stepped forward. You attacked us without provocation. Threatened our world. Did you think we would just surrender? Better surrender than what they will do. Stone's voice cracked with genuine fear. The Ancient Ones. They enforced laws that would cripple our empire. Laws that protected weak species like yours. We spent millennia building our power after they vanished. We will not go back. The transmission cut off as another blast shook the facility. Warning lights flashed red across every console. Structural failure imminent. Hayes shouted. The main chamber won't hold. Walker grabbed the ancient artifact from its case and ran to the ring platform. Then we'll give it everything we have left. Emma, reroute all power to the transmitter. Everything. That'll burn out the whole system, she protested. Better burned out than buried under a mountain, Walker replied. He placed the artifact in the center of the ring. It began to glow with the same shifting colors as the crystals around it. Reed's phone buzzed again. Sir, they're launching a final attack run. All ships converging on your position. Impact in 30 seconds. Walker looked at Hayes. Now, Emma. She slammed down the emergency override. Every light in the facility went dark as all power flowed into the ring platform. The artifact rose into the air, spinning faster and faster, its glow intensifying until it was painful to look at. 15 seconds to impact. The artifact's light reached blinding levels. The symbols on the walls burned like fire. 10 seconds. Walker smiled. Right on schedule. 5 seconds. Just as the alien ships reached firing position, just as their weapons charged for the killing blow, everything stopped. The facility ceased shaking. The warnings fell silent. Above them, through kilometers of rock, they could see the alien ships frozen in place. Then a new voice spoke, echoing not through speakers but directly in their minds. It was ancient, powerful, and very, very angry at what it saw. Protocol activated. QR Diens or responding. Holy for Judigimiend. The real battle for Earth was about to begin. The voice of the Ancient Ones still echoed in their minds as enormous ships began appearing around Earth. They made the Council's fleet look tiny in comparison. These new vessels were smooth and silver, shaped like massive leaves reflecting starlight, each one easily 10 times the size of the largest Council battleship. Inside the P&Diore facility, Walker watched the readings with a satisfied smile. Beautiful, aren't they? The tablets called them the Guardian's Flowers. Those are warships. Reed asked, staring at the screens in awe. There's so much more than that, Professor Hayes explained, her eyes glued to the data streaming across her monitor. They're like mobile courts of justice, judges and peacekeepers from a civilization so advanced they saw war as a primitive concept. The Ancient One's voice spoke again, this time addressing the Council fleet directly. Violation of Protocol 7. Unprovocated aggression. against an emerging civilization. Stand down immediately. On the main screen, they could see the council ships powering down their weapons. Some tried to flee, but streams of silver light from the Guardian vessels held them in place effortlessly. High Marshal Stone's face appeared on the emergency channel, his 4 eyes wide with panic. "Please, you don't understand. These humans, they activated a Doomsday device. We were protecting the galaxy." Walker stepped forward. "Actually, we should thank you, Marshal. Your attack proved exactly what the Ancient Ones needed to see." He held up the artifact, which still glowed softly. This was never a weapon. It was evidence. Reed looked at him sharply. "Evidence. The tablets, the artifacts, this facility. They're all part of a test," Hayes explained. "The Ancient Ones didn't just vanish. They were watching, waiting to see which younger species would repeat the mistakes of the past." The voice of the Ancient Ones resonated through the chamber. "Humanity chosen as Wodolaki any sees. Approach and PREC into your TS time only." A beam of silver light enveloped Walker, Hayes, and Reed. The Admiral felt a strange tingling sensation, and suddenly they were no longer in the underground facility. Instead, they stood in what appeared to be a vast chamber made of flowing light, facing beings that seemed to be made of pure energy. "For 50 years, we studied your messages," Walker addressed the Ancient Ones. "You taught us that true power isn't about having the biggest weapons or the strongest ships. It's about wisdom, patience, and the courage to stand up to bullies without becoming one yourself." "But we did build Pandora," Hayes added. "Not to destroy, but to show we understood your lessons. To prove we could face aggression without resorting to the same tactics." Reed stepped forward. "Earth stands ready to help maintain peace in the galaxy. Not through force, but through the law and wisdom you left behind." The chamber hummed with energy as the Ancient Ones communicated among themselves. Finally, their collective voice spoke. "Judgment accepted. Humanity is PASSED the trial." Back in Earth orbit, the Council ships hung motionless as the Guardian vessels took up positions around the planet. High Marshal Stone's voice came through once more, now trembling. What happens now?" Walker smiled. "Now, Marshal, you get to explain to your people why the age of bullying younger civilizations is over. Earth isn't just some primitive world anymore. We're the ones who brought back the Guardians. And this time, they're here to stay." The Ancient One's final declaration echoed across every channel, in every language. "The compact it is RENUED. Humanity is TNDs as wet NESS and Guardian. Let all who would wage injust war know. The time of GVGMENT AAs or E2 or NED." Reed looked at Walker. "Did you know it would end this way?" "Not exactly," Walker admitted, "but I hoped. Sometimes the best weapon isn't a weapon at all. Sometimes it's just the truth, finally coming to light." Above them, the Guardian ships began their work, preparing to restore order to a galaxy that had forgotten its past. Earth's darkest hour had become its brightest dawn. The next few hours changed everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the universe. In the White House Situation Room, Walker stood before the world's leaders, both in person and on screens, explaining what had really been happening on Earth for the past 50 years. "The artifacts weren't just left here by chance," he said, placing the glowing device on the conference table. "Earth was chosen. We were given a test, and today we passed it." The president leaned forward. "A test of what exactly, Dr. Walker?" "Of character." Professor Hayes answered from her seat beside Walker. She spread out photographs of various artifacts found around the world. Every major civilization in history found pieces of their message. The tablets in Antarctica, the crystal caves in Brazil, the hidden chambers in Egypt, all giving us the same choice. Walker nodded. Build weapons to dominate others, or build something better. The Council thought they were the masters of the galaxy, But they were just part of the test too. Their attack proved what the Ancient Ones suspected. The strong were bullying the weak again. On a large screen, High Marshal Stone and other council leaders watched the meeting from their ships, still held in place by the Guardian vessels. Stone's voice was quiet now, nothing like his earlier arrogance. How many worlds did we destroy, thinking we were the height of civilization? How many species did we enslave or wipe out, never knowing we were being watched? That's exactly why Earth was chosen, Walker explained. We've made terrible mistakes in our history. We've had wars, created weapons that could destroy our world. But we also learned from those mistakes. We built Pandora not to destroy, but to call for justice. Professor Hayes pulled up images of the Guardian ships now orbiting Earth. The Ancient Ones didn't just leave us instructions. They left us their legacy. Earth isn't just under their protection. We're being asked to help protect others. The room burst into questions and exclamations. Walker raised his hands for quiet. Think about what we found in those artifacts. Not weapon designs, not battle plans, but laws, ethics, philosophy. The tools to build a just civilization. Admiral Reed, who had been quietly watching, spoke up. The Council's ships carry enough firepower to destroy a planet. But they were stopped by what? A message. A reminder that actions have consequences. On the screen, other council members began arguing among themselves. Some demanded resistance against the Guardians. Others called for immediate reforms. Stone silenced them all with a raised hand. We thought Earth's device was a weapon of unimaginable power, the alien marshal said. We were right, but not in the way we thought. Knowledge, truth, justice. These are powers we forgot how to use long ago. Walker touched the glowing artifact. This isn't over. The Ancient Ones didn't return just to stop one invasion. They're back to fix a broken system. And they're asking humanity to help. Why us? Someone asked. We're centuries behind the Council in technology. Because we did what no other civilization managed to do, Hayes answered. When we found the power to destroy worlds, we chose instead to build something that could save them. The Council used their advanced technology to conquer. We used our limited technology to call for help, not just for ourselves, but for every species that had suffered under their rule. The President stood up. Dr. Walker, what happens next? Walker smiled. Now comes the hard part. The Ancient Ones want us to help rebuild the galactic civilization, not through force, but through wisdom. They're offering us their knowledge, their technology, but more importantly, their trust. Outside, the Guardian ships began to move, taking up new positions around the planet. Earth was no longer just another world in space. It had become something much more important, a beacon of hope for a galaxy that had lost its way. 1 month after the return of the Ancient Ones, the Pandora facility had become Earth's busiest location. The mountain base had been expanded, with new chambers built to house both human and alien diplomats. Walker stood at a window overlooking the main hall, watching representatives from 100 worlds discuss the future of the galaxy. Still hard to believe, isn't it? Admiral Reed joined him at the window. A month ago, we thought we were alone in the universe. Now we're helping to rewrite its laws. Walker pointed to a group of small, blue-skinned beings talking with Professor Hayes. Those are the runners. The Council hunted them almost to extinction because they developed faster than light travel independently. Now they're helping us set up Earth's first FTL research center. And the Council just accepts this? Reed asked. They don't have much choice. Walker led Reed to a new section of the facility, where the walls glowed with the same shifting patterns as the original artifact. The Ancient Ones didn't just leave us messages. They left us keys to their entire knowledge base. The room they entered was filled with holograms showing different star systems. Professor Hayes stood at a central console, talking with a group of scientists from various worlds. We've confirmed another 12 cases of illegal Council interference, she was saying. promising civilizations pushed back into their Stone Age. Living worlds stripped of resources, all of it documented by the Ancient Ones' monitoring systems. High Marshal Stone, who now served as a liaison between Earth and the Council, lowered all four eyes in shame. We thought we were bringing order to chaos. Instead, we were destroying the very thing the Ancient Ones tried to build. A galaxy where different species could grow and develop naturally. Walker activated a larger hologram showing the Guardian ship's position throughout the galaxy. That's why they chose us. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our ability to learn from mistakes, both our own and others. The Council forgot that strength can be used to protect, not just to dominate, Hayes added. They forgot that true power comes from lifting others up, not pushing them down. A young diplomat from Earth raised her hand. But how do we prevent this from happening again? What's to stop another species from trying to take control once the Guardians leave? Walker smiled. Who said they're leaving? He pressed a button, and a hologram shifted to show a massive construction project taking shape in Earth's orbit. The Ancient Ones aren't just helping us advance our technology. They're making Earth the permanent headquarters of the Guardian fleet. More than that, Hayes continued. They're teaching us how to build and operate new Guardian ships. Humanity won't just help enforce the laws. We'll help protect and guide younger civilizations, the way we wish someone had been there to guide us. Stone moved closer to the hologram. My people ruled through fear because we were afraid ourselves. Afraid of losing power, afraid of being weak. But Earth showed us real strength. You could have used Pandora to destroy us. Instead, you used it to make us better. Reed watched as more diplomats entered the room, each bringing reports of worlds beginning to recover, species starting to rebuild. So what's our next step? Walker pulled out the original artifact, which still glowed softly. The Ancient Ones left hints about other devices, other tests. While some of us stay here to help establish the new order, others will go out to find those who might be ready to join us. A lot of species out there still don't trust us, Reed noted. Good. Walker smiled. Trust has to be earned. That's another lesson humanity learned the hard way. Now we get to help others learn it too. Not as conquerors, not as saviors, but as friends who understand the long, hard road to wisdom. Outside, the first new Guardian ship built with human hands took shape, its silver surface reflecting Earth's light out into the darkness of space. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was helping to guide that change, one world at a time. 1 year after Project Pandora changed the galaxy, Dr. Walker stood on the observation deck of humanity's first Guardian ship, the Hope's Light. Earth looked beautiful from orbit, surrounded by the shimmer of new defense systems and construction platforms, where more Guardian vessels were taking shape. Message from the Council Reform Committee, Professor Hayes announced as she entered the deck. The last of the old military governors have stepped down. The new leadership is ready to begin rebuilding relations with the worlds they once ruled. Walker nodded, watching a group of smaller ships practicing formation flying nearby. Their pilots were a mix of humans and aliens, all training together under the new Galactic Peace Academy, established in Geneva. Admiral Reed's report just came in too, Hayes continued, bringing up a holographic display. The rescue mission to the Dark Star system was successful. They found survivors from 3 different civilizations the old council tried to wipe out. They're being relocated to safe worlds now. And the artifacts we detected there. Hayes smiled. Exactly where the Ancient Ones said they would be. That makes 17 recovered so far, each one containing more knowledge, more history to help us understand our role as guardians. The deck's door slid open again. High Marshal Stone, now wearing the simple gray uniform of a diplomatic advisor, entered with a group of young aliens from various species. They were part of the first class of what humans called the Galactic Peace Corps. The students are ready for their history lesson, Stone announced. His 4 eyes, once full of arrogance, now showed wisdom earned through humility. They want to hear about Earth's first contact and how it changed everything. Walker looked at the eager faces before him. "That's a story best told from the beginning," he said. "1 year ago, humanity faced its greatest challenge. We weren't the strongest or most advanced species in the galaxy, but we had something more important. We had hope, and we had wisdom passed down through generations." He walked to the window, gesturing at the earth below. "Our world wasn't chosen because we were perfect. We were chosen because we learned from our mistakes. When we found the Ancient One's messages, we didn't see weapons. We saw a chance to build something better." "Is it true," a young alien asked, "that your people knew about the Council long before they arrived?" "We knew someone would come," Hayes explained. "The artifacts showed us glimpses of the galaxy, warned us about empires that rule through fear. So we prepared, not by building bigger weapons, but by understanding the true power of knowledge and justice." Stone stepped forward. "My people thought we were the height of civilization. We forgot that true civilization isn't measured by the strength of your weapons, but by the wisdom of your choices." Through the window, they watched as another Guardian ship completed its final tests, its silver hull gleaming in the sunlight. Built by human and alien hands working together, it represented everything the Ancient Ones had hoped for. "The real work is just beginning," Walker said to the students. "Out there, countless worlds are starting to rebuild, to grow without fear for the first time in centuries. Some still don't trust us, and that's okay. Trust takes time. And patience," Hayes added with a smile. "Something else humanity learned from the Ancient Ones." A signal chimed softly. New readings appeared on the holographic display. More artifacts detected, more worlds asking to join the new galactic community, more chances to help guide the galaxy toward a better future. "Ready for another mission?" Walker asked the room. The students straightened, proud in their Peace Corps uniforms. Even Stone stood taller, ready to help right the wrongs of the past. Outside, Earth continued its eternal dance around the sun, no longer just a small blue planet in an uncaring galaxy, but a beacon of hope for all species who dreamed of a better tomorrow. The Ancient Ones have been right. Sometimes the greatest power isn't the ability to destroy worlds, but the wisdom to help them grow, and the courage to stand up for what's right. That was humanity's true strength, and now it was their gift to the stars.